Hey everyone, this is Dan Shank with Stringer Rex, and I'm coming live to you today. Haven't posted a video in a while, and I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm going to get back into the swing of things and get some more videos published soon. And I know a lot of you have asked about the Sergetti stringing method, and the reason I have not published anything extra on that is because I am currently working out a contract negotiation with Sergetti. So I want to wait so that way when I publish my next videos and findings, I will have more data and more information for you guys to take advantage of a special promotion that we're going to do just so you can try it and get a discount on your first sheet. So before we go into that, I'm going to talk about Babolat customization. So right now, I currently play, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a pure strike, and this is the VS strike model. See if I can get it in the picture so you can see it. VS strike. And the specs on a VS Strike, I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this around. And I'm going to show you that here's a brand new one. And you'll see on the sticker that it is a Pure Strike VS unstrung. And if you come to the back page here, and I don't know if you can read it through the plastic or not. It doesn't look like you can. So I'm going to set the camera down for just a quick moment. There we go. And whoops, that came out of the thing. Sorry about that. Pause it like that. All right. So anyway, so right here, you'll see it's a 295 grams plus or minus 7. That's their racket tolerance, or 10.4 ounces. It's 6 points head light and a swing weight of 290. If you look at the specs for the VS Tour, which I happen to have, I'm going to have right here, the specs on this one is about 320 grams, which is 11.3 ounces, 4 points head light, and it has a swing of 290 as well. So basically what that means is they put most of the weight in the handle of this racket. But I'm going to go ahead and I am going to position this really quick down. I'm going to put this other one back. This brand new one is actually spoken for. I just have to string it up when they give me the go ahead to string it up. But we'll set this one out of the way for right now. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to weigh this thing out, and I'm going to actually customize it as we go. And I'm going to do things a little differently than I normally do. And I'm going to do things a little differently than I normally do. But right here, the weight in grams of the racket, as you can see, it weighs 322 grams, and that's with the plastic on the handle. So once we take this plastic off the handle, I'm going to go ahead and turn this around again so you can see me. Once we take this plastic off the handle, I'm going to imagine that that's probably 2 grams worth of plastic that is around this grip. So we're going to take this off. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to reweigh the racket. So I'm going to flip the racket around, or this around again, and we are right at 320 grams. We're going to come over here to the handy dandy swing weight machine. Stick this right here for a brief second so I can get the racket loaded up and just show you unstrung the racket. Is a 292 swing. So they say 290. It's around 292 for this particular one. So that's what we wanted. So now that we have that established, set my camera down really quick. So now that we have that established, we're going to take apart the grip. I'm basically going to get rid of this grip because this is skin feel. When I take this grip off, basically I have a big hand, so I'm going to be adding actually a little bit more weight to the racket. But as I add weight to the racket, I'm going to do things a little differently than the average. So what I mean by that is I don't like the skin feel grip. I like the regular Syntac Pro grip. So I am going to use the Syntac Pro. And as you'll see here, I'm pulling off the rest of this plastic, I guess you could say double sticky tape that holds the grip on. It kind of stayed on the racket itself. And what I'm going to do is pull this off, and you'll see that they actually stapled this one from the factory. They stapled the grip on. I know a lot of people like to staple grips on. I don't think it's as important. Nowadays, they seem to have a little bit better adhesive. So I just pulled the staple out, and I'm going to take the rest of this double adhesive tape. Sorry, I'm off the screen. I'm just getting the rest of this double adhesive tape off of the butt cap. And once I get this off, we'll continue with the customization. So all right, so we got most of it off, and I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is you'll see here that I have my heat shrink sleeve, and I am actually getting my heat gun out. I'm going to plug my heat gun in over here, and you'll see I'm going to try and set the racket up over here so you can see what I'm doing. See, maybe I can lean this up here. Well, I wonder if I can just set it right up here. That might work. Hey, look at that. I think that works out well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat gun on so it'll get nice and hot for me, and I'm just setting it down. And then what I like to do, there we go. So what I like to do is I like to build up my butt cap, and then I like to put a heat shrink sleeve halfway up because I have a really big hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a little bit of this for the butt cap. Let's say right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and all right. So all I did was cut 2 pieces of heat shrink that I'm going to put on the butt cap because I like a flared out butt cap. So I'm just going to align the pieces on the butt cap, and I'm going to align them so that way they come over just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to shrink these down around the butt cap. Just trying to do even heat all the way around just to get it to go up. And that's done. We'll do this. Now what I do is I will take my razor blade and right after I will stick it in here and you'll see it'll pop through. And then I just try and carve as close to the racket as I can, but I go straight as to not cut the actual butt cap of the racket. And you should be able to get a nice little circle like that coming off. And I have a couple stragglers that I'll just pull with my fingers and you'll see it's now even with the butt cap. So we'll set that aside for a second. Now we're going to do the second one. And you'll see like that, nice up close. One's a little bit less than the other. I'm not too worried about that. I'm not going to feel that at all through the grip. This right here is not even, so if I take my handy dandy razor blade, I'm just going to cut away, and you'll see I can just peel this piece right here, and I can just cut it, and voila. You'll see it's nice and even all around, except for that one little piece right there. And I'll show you why that's not going to matter, and I'm just going to cut this off, going around the butt cap again. So I have a nice circle, yet again. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you really quick how this added a little bit of weight to the frame. Now granted, we don't have the grip on it yet, but we're at 310 grams for those two pieces. And to show you really quick, this is a half heat shrink sleeve. So when I put this on the racket, it's going to bump me up to 318 grams before the grip. So I'm basically already added about 10 grams to the racket. So anyway, that's falling down a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stick this on. Make sure we get it a little bit. I just want it to overlap just a little bit. And the only reason I'm doing a half of a heat shrink sleeve is because I'm a one-handed backhand. So I don't need the entire grip to be the same all the way up. This will also help when I add weight to the hoop and counterbalancing. But essentially, you'll see that that fits my hand perfectly because when I put my finger out for the trigger finger for stuff, that grip's going to feel the same. So it's actually perfect. And you'll see that a little bit of it is around, but this one, because of the way it is, the way I put it on, doesn't go all the way around. So now I'm going to go ahead and start this. And when we did this, we said it was going to be about 318 grams. I'm taking just a little bit off. I mean, it's probably not even a gram that I just cut off there, but we want to make sure that we don't have any extra hanging off because that might affect the way it feels in our hand. So as you can see, it's flush. And let's go ahead and weigh this up now. So we're going to turn this back on. And we're going to put it there. And we're back down to 318 grams, so we didn't even take a gram off. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to put this back over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my grip on it, but I'm going to unplug. I'm going to unplug my heat gun. I'm not going to need it again. My grip is now built up the way I like it. I have an extra butt cap size, so it's flared out just a little bit. So I got my Syntec Pro, which is what I use. I'm going to go ahead and put this grip on. We know that this racket weighs 318 grams right now. And we're going to put the grip on. All right, now that we got the grip on, I just have to grab my scissors really quick. All right, so I grabbed my scissors and all I did was cut it off so that way I could get it to finish up all the way. So put my tape on it. All right, so there we got that. So now we're going to come over here. We're going to weigh it again. Now, according to Babolat, this grip weighs about 19 grams. So we should be at 337, give or take. And we are at 335 because I cut off a little bit. Now, what's interesting is that we're at 335 unstrung. My racket, which as you can see is customized already, is at 339. So it's only 4 grams more than this racket. Now, once I string this racket, it's going to add like another 17 grams. So this racket's definitely going to be heavier than the other one, and that is the goal. So, and also that has an overgrip on it, and this racket does not. So once I add the overgrip to this one, I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to be a lot heavier than So I am going to put my overgrip on. This is a Vulcan overgrip. This is the Max Tour, which is way better than Wilson Pro in my opinion. It lasts a lot longer. I get about a month out of these overgrips, and I play 5 days a week. I do rotate my rackets, so I don't play with each racket 5 days a week, but with the Wilson Pros and Turner grip and stuff like that, I may get, a week out of them, if that. So I got this one, and pull that off. And I'm just going to apply my overgrip. And I don't trim my overgrips, I just fold them over, especially with Vulcan, because Vulcan gives me this nice, big, thick, I guess you could call it finishing tape. And I put the finishing tape on. And boom. So now my racket is done. We'll come back over here. We'll see we're probably at about 342 grams. We'll see what the handy dandy scale says. We were at 335 before the overgrip. So 341 grams with the overgrip. Now, one of the things that's interesting is when we customize, sometimes we don't take into account grip sizes and things. So I start with a 4 5/8 grip and I build it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a tape that I have here. We're going to measure the size of this. So right now we're going to use inches. There we go. And we're going to measure the butt cap. And the butt cap measures in inches right there, which is about, I don't know if you can see that, which is about 6. It's about 6 1/4. I don't know if you can see that, but 6 1/4. There we go. And the grip itself is going to measure right at 5 1/4. I'm not sure if you can see that, but 5 1/4. So that's the one we just did. And here's the racket that's strung. We'll measure this. The butt cap should be 6 1/4 or close to it. And this one's at a little bit more than 6 1/4. This one's at 6. Well, actually, it's right at 6 1/4. The other one was 6 1/8. Sorry, my other racket was 6 1/8. And then for the grip size, we're at 5 1/8. So the size of the grip actually is the same. This particular racket, the butt cap is just a teeny bit bigger. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I can feel the butt cap and my pinky fine. Doesn't feel horrible to me. So there you have it. So that is now customized. So now I'm going to go ahead and string this racket up. And I'm going to play with it and see if there's a difference with the extra weight of how this racket plays compared to the other one. And that'll be on another video, the play test. Hope you all have a great night out there. Till next time.